you love purple. But what flowers are those back there? Would you
Lots
mind?
of orchids.
Orchids.
Yes.
Would you say those are your favorite flower? Am I asking a silly question? Because there's certainly some orchids behind you. So,
well, what I love about orchids is they last. So I can get them and then they are able to stay with me and keep my background decorated for a very long time.
Absolutely. Very cool. I love it. Awesome background. Cannot fight that. So officially, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I have an incredible guest today, and we're talking about a serious and helpful subject. I suppose I'll say it's serious, but it's certainly beyond helpful, especially during these times. So I'd like to introduce to you all, Linda Shively is a neuroscience and mindset expert, an award-winning speaker, and has been presenting across the country at places like the Harvard Club of Boston, the New York City Bar Association, Walmart, and Carnegie Hall. Linda has been a multiple-time guest and host on cable television, featured in a feature film with Winona Ryder and Jeff Daniels, and even performed at the Rose Bowl in front of over 90,000 people. No big deal, just 90,000. You're a legend. All right. After healing from an abusive marriage and navigating the diagnosis and eventual death of her 3-year-old daughter, Linda found her way to bounce back and reclaim her joy in life. Today, she helps successful women defeat the dragons in their life and elevate their joy to new levels. Linda has studied brain and mind function for over 30 years, earning a psychobiology degree from UCLA, and is a certified master life and executive coach, a master practitioner of NLP, that's neuro-linguistic programming, a master psychotherapist, and a certified laughter yoga leader. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Linda Shively. Round of applause, clap, stomping your feet wherever you might be. I definitely said that wrong though. Phenotherapist. Sorry. So you're a big deal. Thank you. Okay. Whew. All right. I did get that right.
And it's Shively, like lively. So
you know what? I just want to let you know I mispronounced that on purpose so that you would say it the way that you say it, because you say it so much better than me anyway. I'm just going to put that out there. You say Shively, like lively. Thank you so very much. And for those of y'all who know, Linda's been extremely patient with me today. And I take pride in obviously knowing names and making sure I say them correctly, because I knew what it was. And still, I made that mistake. So number one, I apologize for that. Number two is, Linda and I were supposed to be doing this several minutes ago. And I'm gonna blame it on the Rona. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna blame it on the Rona. Time change, shift, and everything. And Linda said, Hey, Stan, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're supposed to be talking right now. I was like, oh, we are supposed to be talking right now, but we're not supposed to be talking. Anyway, long story short, thank you.
But we are talking now.
But we are talking now. Here we are, where we're supposed to be. So thank you very much for being here with me, Linda. How are you doing? How is life? We'll just start off that way. How are you doing?
Life is really good right now. It is in kind of a time warp, so time has a different meaning right now than it seems to in other contexts, because even though we're on this same schedule that we seem like we've always had, the boundaries are different because we don't have places to go in the same way that we used to. Well, at least we're in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm not sure where you are, but things are still shut down in this area. So.
Well, yeah, things are a little, they're not, I know that in the Bay Area, I'm in Atlanta right now, and things are kind of beginning to, but I'm still like, nah, I'm good. I'm okay. But I know that the Bay Area has been like, no, hey, everyone, stay where you are right now, right? So, neuroscience and mindset expert, and you've done so much brain work. Can I just ask, like, what inspired you to move in that particular direction? Because while the brain is an anomaly, there's so much to learn about it. Not everyone does. So what's inspired you, or what inspired you to move in that direction?
Well, initially, I think I was just curious about people. I've always been fascinated about people, but what has led me into the work that I do now. Back in December of 2005, I had to make a really tough decision. I had to figure out how to get out of an abusive marriage with my severely handicapped 3-year-old daughter, Jessica. And Jessica had a neuromuscular disorder called spinal muscular atrophy, which at the time had no treatment. And when she was first diagnosed, her prognosis was a year. And that was devastating. She kept living, though, and had incredible joy and would light up a room with her smile, with her animated eyes. I can move my eyebrows a little bit, but not like she could. And she would have that twinkle in her eye, like, I'm going to do something that you're not expecting. So we never knew what to expect from her. And I knew that I couldn't keep her in the unhealthy situation, and I knew it wasn't good for me. So on a Tuesday after preschool, I put her down for a nap. I looked at her best nurse and I said, you pack up her medical equipment. I'm going to get her clothes and her toys. And as soon as she wakes up, we're going to escape. And escape we did. And exactly 2 weeks later, I held Jessica in my arms as she took her last breath and died. From that point on, I was devastated. I had no idea how to move forward in my life. I knew that there were opportunities, but I didn't quite see them because I'd lost everything. I'd lost my daughter, my marriage, my reason for being. And I thought back to my friend Maria's comments when Jessica was first diagnosed. And Maria told me, you can't change what happens to you. You can only change how you deal with it. And that inspired me to move forward, get the coaching, get the counseling, really understand where I was and help heal myself. And now I can help other people and help other people on their journeys. I found myself in patterns that were not serving me. And now I can help other people break those so that they can have their amazing lives. And that secret key to life and business. Do you know what that is, Stan?
You tell me. You tell me,
Joy.
Shively.
It is joy. Because without joy, you can't do anything. And I know you enough to know that you live by that as well. Because if you don't have joy, what's life all about? What are we going to do with life?
Heck yeah. Wow, it's so amazing. You mentioned, the word joy. I guess simply we'll start, how does one find joy? Because there's so much going on. But again, you've had a traumatic experience that most, can't even comprehend, right? And you work through that. So again, because those cynical folks out there may feel like there's no way to find joy. There's no joy anywhere. Right? They turn on TV. There's no joy, right? But in the simplest way, where does joy come from? How can one find it?
Well, the simplest way is joy comes from within. You create, it's just like happiness. You create your own. If you're dependent on outside forces to have happiness, you're never going to have it. And joy can coexist with sadness, which is something that a lot of us don't always realize. Yeah, I'm looking at your face.
That's a brilliant statement because it's like sometimes people feel as though they can only have one or the other. So do you mind diving into that a little bit? That joy and sadness can coexist because they're very real things.
Well, if you think about it, when something isn't going well in life, that doesn't mean that everything isn't going well. And we have the choice to make in that situation of, am I going to get sucked down the rabbit hole am I going to stay in negativity, or am I going to choose to have some positive outlook on this? I mean, anything can be switched, right? Today happens to be a sunny day here in the Bay Area. Well, I could say, yay, it's a sunny day, it's wonderful. Or I could say, oh, it's sunny, but I'm sitting inside. I can't enjoy it because I'm sitting inside. Or I could, if it was raining, it's like, oh, it's raining. It's so miserable. Can't do anything. But on the flip side, it's like, oh, all the plants are getting watered. Whoa. So, how do you look at life? There's always a different way to look at it.
When you brought that, because it's interesting that, you mentioned that. It's like there's some folks, again, to see the glass always half empty or half full. And your point reminded, there's a guy that I call him a mentor for a brief amount of time. And there was this conference that we're all speaking at, but it was literally a torrential downpour. I'd never seen so much rain at one time. And so I'm looking outside like, are you kidding me? Like kids were pulling up in buses, and he just walked by, and he was significantly older than me too. And I think sometimes when you're really paying attention, wisdom comes, right? And he actually had on a raincoat, right, with the hood up. Takes the raincoat off. He heard me say, he says, "Rain? This is just liquid sunshine." And then walks directly into there. I was like, yeah, this is I saw the rest of the day different. I'd never heard that be said before. And I think I was forever changed. So it's interesting, perspective in being.
And totally, when you mentioned that story, I was just thinking the other day, I had a time where, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pacific Grove. It's on the California coast near Monterey. And it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous shoreline. And I had gone down there for a weekend, walked along in the sunshine on a sunny day. And the next morning, I knew it was going to rain, but I wanted to go to the beach. So I went out to the beach, and it poured. And I was out there smiling and laughing and dancing. And this was only a few years ago. So I'm not a little kid, and, adults doing that. What do you mean? And people were looking at me like I was on something. Like, why are you so happy? I'm like, it's raining. And it's like, we haven't had rain in California for months. This is so exciting. We have rain. And they're just like, okay.
They didn't get it at all.
But it was so fun. So yeah, next time it rains, it could be liquid sunshine. It could just be, just enjoy it. Like we don't have to have all the sad things. Everything doesn't have to be serious about life.
That's amazing. So, like, what's some advice that you'd give to, the younger Linda? Heck, let's take it back to 13-year-old Linda. Like, what advice would we give the younger you?
I would tell myself to keep laughing, because I think around that time I probably wasn't as silly as I could be, and that is part of my essence. It's part of what I do. It's part of how I help people. And to know that I could do whatever I wanted to, and to get out of my own way, stop doubting myself, stop second guessing myself, judging myself or comparing myself to other people, all of that. We live in a world where, especially, 13, that's middle school or junior high, and
Heck yeah.
Generally not a great time.
It's tough. It's brutal sometimes.
It's the fact that we all, as adults, have gotten through that is a miracle. We survived junior high. But yeah, I would definitely tell myself that, and take small steps in what I'm doing.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So for, there's some folks that are, let's say, new to the mindset piece, right? What are some things that either you do every day to help your mindset, or you think others can do, every day to help their mindset?
One thing I love doing is getting outside and going for a walk and getting fresh air. Because I find, especially right now, we're on screens significantly more than we were before. So allowing that fresh air is definitely helpful to kind of let the mind expand. And having a moment of meditation, whether it's while I'm walking or sitting and listening to something, or just taking a moment to breathe, all
Wow,
help.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much. So I know that you went to UCLA, knocked out some things there. Where's your drive and motivation come from? And it's still all with joy and a smile on your face. I'm sure all moments are perfect moments, but where does the drive come from, and how do you keep yourself moving forward or leaning into, each day, with that joy that you speak of?
I think the drive just comes from helping other people and seeing when other people shift and change, and that motivates me. So I was working with a client this week who shifted a belief that she'd had probably her entire life. And
Wow.
she's like, that was so easy. Why did I let this plague me for so long? It's like, oh, okay. And seeing her physically shift in moments of just from, kind of hunched over to actually having more confidence and shoulders back. And it wasn't that I said, okay, now get more confident. It happened naturally. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. So what's next for you? Ideally, what is, whether it be, with work or mindset, what would you like to happen? Where do you see the perfect, the perfect vision for your business and your work?
Expanding it to more people. That is what I'm seeing, because I know that so far people know who I am, but not enough. And so really getting out there and letting people know that they don't have to be miserable. It's not, no matter what has happened in your past, no matter where you're headed, no matter what's happening in the moment. I mean, you can be at the mercy of your situation, or you can be in charge of it, and helping people to really get in charge of it.
You can be at the mercy of your situation, or you can be in charge of it. That's a quotable moment. I want you to know. I will be quoting you later. For sure. You
Cool.
can be at the mercy of your situation, or you can be in charge of it. I'll ask you this. Now, it seems, there are some folks who are watching this are going to listen to this via podcast, or obviously watching right now, as I mentioned before. And they might be thinking, I wonder if I need Linda, if I need her services. So who needs you? What person listening or thinking or wondering if they need that kind of help and service you provide? Who needs you? What type of person needs you? What are they going through and find themselves needing you?
If you're finding yourself in a situation, maybe you've been trying something new, you say, oh, wow, look at this great idea. I want to try this. This is going to work. And it doesn't. Or I'm going to do this and I'm totally into it, but then I know I'm supposed to do something about that, but I'm not actually doing it. If that sounds like you, if that pattern keeps happening in your life, you're like, whoa, new shiny object. I gotta do that. And something's not working. Now, this could be in a relationship. It could be in your business. It could be in other areas of your life, maybe in your health. Like, oh, I'm going to try this diet. Oh, I'm going to try this diet. Whatever, but primarily in business. I find entrepreneurs who are they know what they want to be doing. They know that they're getting in their own way. And those are the people that I can help really get out of their own way.
Oh, absolutely amazing. And how can people find you? I have another follow-up question in a moment, but, for someone that wants to learn more about you, learn from you, or even, know what your service is, how can they find you?
So you can go to my website, which is lindashively.com.
That's Shively, lively.
Like lively. It's LINDASHIVELY.com.
And I'm spelling it with you, not because I know your name better than you. It's because, again, I'm going to blame it on the Rona. And I'm so much better. Hopefully you will come back again, but I have your name perfect in one place. And there's another place. I was like, Stan, what is going on in your life? Fire everyone. But I have to fire because Shively, as in lively. That's Linda. I'm going to spell it again for them in case they make a similar mistake that maybe I did or did not make. I made. That's LINDASHIVELY. Shively. And no one will ever forget that, because I remember we had a chance to meet in New York, and when you introduced yourself, I probably said it wrong then, and you were like, Shively, like lively. Matter of fact, I'm sure I did, as I think back to the yacht in New York. I'm like, yes, and there's a reason why she says Shively like lively. So then this one, anyway, no one's perfect. It's interesting because when sometimes I go places, Linda, and someone will ask me what my name is, and I'll go, Stan, S-T-A-N. And some people look at me like I'm crazy, like, why are you spelling your name? It's because some people will say Dan or Sam, and then I spell it. And so I find it interesting that it can still happen, but how helpful it is. Or sometimes it's like, as in Stan the man, like it seems hokey, but it helps people remember. But you are absolutely unforgettable, and that's Linda Shively, like lively. Any other, parting words of advice for folks who, are really looking to better their mindset, who they are, or even just learn more about the subject of the brain?
Well, if you wanted to actually understand some of the self-sabotaging patterns that you might have, I have kind of a fun way that I look at them. Instead of self-sabotaging patterns, I talk about them as the joy-stealing dragons. And we all have them. They plague us at different levels, but we can play with them. We can train them and tame them so that they're not interfering with our lives. And Stan, I've even named them. So
did you? I was going to, okay, talk to me. You from Game of Thrones type situation. I see you. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the first one is No Good Nancy. Now, No Good Nancy wants you to believe that you were not born good enough. No matter what you do, she's going to be like, you can't do that. You weren't born good enough. You can't do that. Or if you do succeed, it's like, you could have done it better. No Good Nancy is not the one you want to deal with. Then there is Second Guessing Sally. She will make you second guess any decision that you make, either preventing you from making the decision in the first place because you keep spinning in circles, or once you make the decision, it's like, well, no, I really shouldn't have made that decision, and go back on it and try something different. Then there's Perfect Paula. And Perfect Paula wants everything to be just so before she'll take any action, which means nothing happens. And then there is Judging Jenny. Judging Jenny wants you to compare yourself to everyone else and judge yourself. And social media is Judging Jenny's playground, because there's always somebody else to look at. They're doing something wonderful and I'm not. Or I'm doing something wonderful and look at how horrible their life is. Whatever it is, Judging Jenny is like, then there's Overwhelmed Ophelia. What, like you could have come up with a better O dragon?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Overwhelmed Ophelia wants you to have a tremendously long to-do list and to take action on none of it. Or maybe you're taking action, but you're just staying busy so that you can have the badge of honor of being busy. It's
Whoa.
so all of these dragons will usurp your power, take away your joy, steal your joy. And if you don't do something about it, they're going to run your life. So,
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Listen, I'm going to run that back to the joy-stealing dragons. And then you had the forethought to name them, not just name them, but identify them. But here, before I name them, it's also incredible that you said that it's about training them, understanding, who you are, how you operate. Joy-stealing dragon number 1 is no good Nancy. You have second-guessing Sally. You have perfect Paula, judging Jenny, or overwhelmed Ophelia. Wow. So actually, if you end up watching this via podcast or something like that, in the review, put which one that you think you identify with most. If you're watching this on a social media platform, in the comment section, put which one you feel like you may identify with most, and then work to train that one first, maybe, because I feel like. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, and if you want, I have a quiz that you can identify which one is the one that stands out the most in your life.
Really?
So,
and is that quiz on your website?
You can get to it from my website, but
okay.
You can also get to it on joystealingdragons.com.
You got joystealingdragons. There you go again. All right. joystealingdragons.com. And what I'll make sure that I do, this will certainly be in the show notes for when the podcast is produced. And then the comment section, I'll make sure that joystealingdragons.com is in the comment section so folks can find that readily to take the quiz and then get in contact, with you to spend a little bit more time learning how to get to know themselves. Linda, thank you so very much for spending this time with me. I'm hoping that you'll come back again and we can have more conversation. Thank you so very much. For those of you all watching, remember, to get to know and understand the possibility of those joy-stealing dragons that you may have. Linda shared some incredible tips and tricks on how to work through life and how to find joy in all situations, not just the convenient ones. For those of y'all who are here, thank you for being here. Feel free to like, comment, ask any question in the comment section that you like, and I'll get to them as soon as absolutely possible. And if you think this is something that could benefit someone that you know, then share this with them so that we can all be around and be the people that we say we want to be. So remember, 24/7, 365 and 1/4 days a year, that you're good, you're great, you're worth it. And more than anything else, remember that effort on fire beats knowledge on ice. My name is Stan Pearson II. You heard it here first, spending time with Linda Shively, like lively. Have a great day, y'all.